An incredible story about a visually impaired couple who navigate their way around their lives, never knowing what either looks like. Despite being visually impaired, they have not lost hope. Instead, they're forging ahead as a blind couple, making the best out of the circumstance. Our correspondent Abimbola Agbebi spent time with the visually impaired couple. She saw firsthand their plight, their dreams, and their hopes.
The eye is said to be the light or lamp of the body. There's a whole lot of difference between being born visually impaired and when one loses the ability to see as a result of an accident or infection. In Nigeria, it is estimated that the population of the visually impaired is between 2 to 3 million, that is about 1.2 to 1.8% of the entire population of approximately 170 million people. It's exactly 6:30 a.m. here in Amoshe village in Mero area of Lagos, and this is the neighborhood of the Okpebis. Mr. and Mrs. Okpebi are a couple who are both blind. As I approached their house, I decided to put a call through to one of the couple, the blind man whom I had established a relationship with in our previous conversations over the phone. Yes, ma'am. Okay, this is Abimbola. I'm in your house, sir.
Good morning.
Yes, ma'am.
Happy New Year.
I wish you the same.
How's work?
Good, thank you.
How's everything?
Good, thank you. Finally. Meet the Okpebis and their children. Anu is 7 years old and Shugo 5. Theirs is a classic story love that conquers all. And despite the fact they have never laid eyes on one another, the union has endured. It was the first day of resumption for schools across Lagos after the New Year's celebration. I was curious to know how this couple would get through the hurdle of getting their children ready for school with their visual impairment. Moninola, the wife, slowly made her way to the back of the house carrying a bucket of water. She was going to bathe her children.
Shogoda.
Wale, the husband, picks up the broom to sweep the house. Moninola stares into space, sponge and soap in hand, as she bathes her son, Shugo. Typical of some mothers, she muttered a few words of advice to her son as she scrubbed his body, telling him to concentrate on his studies as school resumes. Back in their living room, I watched with keen attention as the couple struggled to get their children ready for school. Wale meanders through their bedroom each time he needed to get 1 or 2 items for the children. Soon, the children are set for school. For the first time since I got to the home of the Okpebis, I spent time alone with the children. And it brought home the reality about how Shugo and Anu deal with the fact that both parents are blind.
When I look at my daddy and I remember that they cannot see, I am sad.
But how did it come to this? For their father, Wale, the 19th June 2000 is a date he would never forget. It was the day he lost the ability to see. Life was better. He earned a living as a fashion designer.
I just feel my eyes is not see well. I don't know that my eyes, something don't happen for my eyes here. My business collapsed. So blind man cannot do a fashion designer. My business runs down. I sold the machine.
I was born in Lagos State about 46 years ago.
And for his wife, it began with a nagging eye infection that would not go away, and later it became total darkness and the inability to see.
I was not born blind. I went to school one day, and when I come back from the school, I ate, and I now told my mom that I want to sleep. And she said that I should go and sleep. So when I wake up, it started with my left eyes. My left eyes now red, just like this Apollo. So my mom now said, come, what happened to your eyes? But nothing happened to you before you slept now. That's how we started. And the following day, my mom went to Agege, to one big pharmacy that time. She bought about 2 eyes drop for me. I started putting it. Yo. That's how the problem started. Since that time, more than 20 years now. We tried our best, went to the hospital, even went to Kano about 3 times. They tried their best. They gave me glasses, but along the line, everything just went darkness. Around, that is 1990.
Wale's aged mother believed that life dealt her the greatest blow when her son lost his sight years ago.
Nígbà tó sùn ní hospital yẹn tó jí, hospital ní kíní yẹn ti happen. Ni ó kàn sọ fún mi pé òun ò rí mi mọ́.
But like the famous story of Romeo and Juliet, the two lovers stood strong, determined to give their children the best education. Paying the children's tuition was not always easy. Most times, money is in short supply. The school proprietors have had to give special consideration to the family.
The life is not easy for me and my wife. It's not easy at all. Because we don't have job. We don't have anything to do. We just manage ourselves.
Actually, I've known the Okpabis for a long time from that village. And the gentleman, the father of the children, is a very nice man. So when he brought the children to the school, I decided to help as well. That is by giving the children half payment for the school fees. That's, and sometimes when he's not able to pay for it, I tell the teachers, do not worry about these children. As and when he has the money, he will pay. And sometimes if they don't have books, and I'm aware of it, I will provide the books for the children.
Despite these challenges, Anulua, the first child of the union, has given her parents reason to be proud. She is an A student.
I was a teacher from last time, She came to the class last time, at least then. Due to her performance, at least she's capable of taking care of the class. At least she came fourth overall in the class. She's a very brilliant girl.
But in the crowd twist, the story is different for Shogo. His academic performance in class is poor, and maybe as a result of the inability of either parent to help with homework.
I'm aware that the parents are blind, and the boy, when he came to the class, is very slow in writing, but I can assure you that since that time till now, he's trying to pick a little. But the problem the child is having is that there is no assistance from the parents.
For this couple, forging ahead through life is not as traumatic as remembering that they had near-perfect vision. With the little education acquired at the School of the Blind, where they were taught how to perform basic chores, they are able to cook, sweep, and use mobile phones.
TNNG window, 10:21 a.m. P1. TNNG window, 10:21 a.m. Text.
Yeah.
081
081
84
okay 84
02.
Beyond acquiring skills, the need to be financially independent remains a source of worry. Should government and corporate individuals have a role in helping persons living with disabilities?
Government has a role to play. There's somebody that is blind by your side. There's somebody that is deaf. There's somebody that is lame. What can you do to help that person bring the best out of them? I've seen, people living with disability in other parts of the world. They actually do something that is even greater, higher, because their society creates that environment for them to succeed. I'm appealing, let's create this environment. Let's provide the opportunity for them to succeed.
The difference between this blind couple and a community of beggars roaming the street is their perception towards life.
To be begging around in the streets as you are on the road, so we can't join there. Though those people that is begging, that is blind, if he has that, they may have a reason, but any reason that can happen, but we cannot join there because the way we are thinking is different. Maybe your family will be passing or anybody that is, so it's a shame. People used to give us at times they have, and from the church at times they used to give us.
It's exactly 5 p.m. and we are still in Amoshe village in the home of the blind couple. Having listened to their touching story, one question that naturally pops up in the mind is, can these two ever regain their sight?
I must first say that it's a pathetic situation. While I feel the empathy with them going through this kind of problem, if she has glaucoma, which is usually in the two eyes, although there are other causes of unilateral glaucoma, that is glaucoma in one eye. So if she has lost vision from one eye due to glaucoma, and then also lost vision from the other eye due to glaucoma, as we speak, there's little we can do medically to bring back such vision because it's about the optic nerve. When the nerve cells are dead, they don't reproduce. For the man in question, how would they know what actually led to the loss of vision? So I won't be able to talk much on that, except I have an idea of what led to the loss of vision. For all you know, it may be cataract that he had from the trauma.
Cataract remains the leading cause of blindness in Nigeria in different age groups, followed by glaucoma. It may be hard for these two to visually spot the difference between dusk and dawn. They are hopeful that their ability to see again will someday be restored. They believe in miracles. Abimbola Agbebi, TVC News, Lagos.